You're listening to the Fort Erie Podcast, your local source for upcoming events, hot new listings, and bite-sized interviews with business and community leaders. Here's your host, Brent Jones.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of the Fort Erie Podcast. It is Tuesday, March the 10th, 2020. I'm your host, Brent Jones, and let's get started. My guest for today is going to be Rob Rolston, owner of Fort Erie School of Music. But first, some of you may have already noticed a neat new feature for Season 2 of this show. You can now watch, or really I should say listen to, new episodes right on Facebook. You might be doing that right now. You don't have to click anywhere. You don't have to go over to my website or subscribe to the show using one of your favorite podcast apps. Not if you don't want to anyway, but just as a reminder, you can, of course, listen to and stream all previous episodes of the Fort Erie Podcast by visiting theforteriepodcast.com. And there's some other great reasons why you might want to check out that website. There's a contact link right at the top of the page if you'd like to tell me about an upcoming community event or nominate a future guest. You can enter my gift card giveaway. This month I'm giving away a $50 gift card to Trailside Bar and Grill in Ridgeway, and it's free to enter. And also right on that website, you can access the show notes for this episode and every episode. You can get links to everything that we've talked about. You can even leave comments underneath the show notes on each and every episode at theforteriepodcast.com. Check it out. Now, here's what's making news in Fort Erie. A not-so-fun story to start. Police arrested 3 individuals, 2 men and 1 woman, after a drug investigation that began back in January. In searching their residence, police found about $3,000 worth of crystal meth, oxycodone, or codone. I'm not up on my drug terminology here. What's this last one? Psilocybin, something like that, as well as a collection of other property that police believe to be stolen. Now, I'm usually not a fan of relaying negative news on this show, but the good news here is that all 3 have been charged with several criminal offenses. Now, next, while there are no known cases of coronavirus diagnosed in Fort Erie at the moment, the town is preparing for the possibility, working directly with Niagara Health. Steps are being taken by town staff, firefighters, and schools to keep coronavirus at bay, particularly to ensure that in case of emergency, the town is able to continue to provide essential services. And last story, does anybody know Gregory Schofield? Schofield is a 61-year-old Stevensville man, and he just won $100,000 in the recent Lotto Max draw. He matched 6 of 7 encore numbers for the February 18th draw. Any of you who might want to follow in his footsteps, the winning ticket was purchased at Stevensville Grocery on Main Street in Stevensville. For more information on any of these stories, check out the show notes below this episode. Okay, here's a hot new listing for you, my real estate pick of the week. So hot, it was just listed this morning. In fact, depending what time you're listening to this episode, it might not even officially be on MLS yet. I'm talking about 2503 Coral Avenue in Stevensville, listed by yours truly, Brent Jones with Remax Niagara Realty. It's one of the biggest homes on Coral Avenue, full of updates, ideal for families, in a desirable neighborhood near schools. It's on a private lot, and it's listed for $459. Check out the link in the show notes for more information, or call me directly at 905-626-8826. Now, just lastly, before the interview, let's check in with Facebook and see what questions and answers Fort Erie residents have this week. Lisa asked, where is the best steak sub in Fort Erie? There were quite a few different answers, but the most popular answer was Subculture on Jarvis Street, and the second most popular answer was The Barrel on Garrison. Both are excellent choices. Sherry asked, does anyone know where to get photocopies in Fort Erie? It's the weekend and Beatty's is closed. The 2 most popular answers were Avondale, any Avondale really, as well as the library. That would have never occurred to me. Just one more great reason to visit Fort Erie Public Library. That about does it for questions this week. Now on to my interview with Rob Rolston. All right, folks, I am sitting down with Rob Rolston, owner and director of Fort Erie School of Music. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate you making time. So let me start first by asking you, what makes Fort Erie such an awesome place to live and work?
I like the small town atmosphere.
Yeah.
I've lived, I'm primarily a small town boy. I lived a short time in the city, and I really gravitate to the low-key atmosphere that you get in a small town.
Right. Yeah.
The people are genuine. It's a great family atmosphere for anybody that's looking at a place like this. And I really think we're on the cusp of something really great. There's a ton of potential here.
I couldn't agree more. Like on the verge of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Truly.
Well, how long have you been playing music then? I mean, and what instruments do you play? Maybe is the better question.
Okay. I started learning, taking lessons when I was 3.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay. All right.
I've been doing that. All right. I would still call myself a student. So let's say getting on to 50 years, I've been learning.
Sure. That's fair.
I started with piano. And as we moved on, there was more things to learn. I started learning horns and woodwinds. I remember being a 12-year-old blowing on a tuba, gravitating to drums. Guitar was my primary instrument when I went to university.
Okay. Well, certainly we'll spend some time talking about Fort Erie School of Music, but like, do you play professionally, like in a band outside of the school?
Currently, no. I do. I play when I'm on call. I have played in bands. It's a great fun. The problem is time right now. I don't have a great deal of time. I still get asked to do session work, so people will call me to sit in and play in the pits, if you know what that is. If you've ever been to a Broadway show, they'll ask me to come and play guitar or something for a musical.
Oh, that's so cool. Wow. And then what made you decide, you started taking lessons, learning music at 3. What made you decide to kind of take that leap into you're going to teach music one day, own your own school of music?
Oh, this is a funny story. This is, as we finish up high school and we start thinking about careers, we're prompted to take the secure route and so forth to do something that's going to be, for lack of a better term, responsible. I did it for a very short time, and I realized I really didn't care for it. Music is what I really know. Music is what I really enjoy. I wasn't going to make a living as many of us kids wanted to be as a professional athlete.
Yeah, sure.
But music is something I really get. It's something I truly enjoy. I still learn. I think the day I stop learning, I'll stop playing. But as long as there's things to learn, I really do take to it.
Yeah, now you get to spread some of that joy to other people.
It's my buzz.
That's awesome. Good. Well, I want to talk more about the school, but just before we do that, I want to dive into kind of a rapid fire question round. So these are just some fun little trivia questions about, brace yourself. No, these are just fun little questions about yourself. I'll rattle them off. Just blurt out the first thing that pops in your head, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, yes.
What's something you could eat for a week straight?
Oh my. Dessert, any dessert.
Any dessert, okay. Would you rather wake up to an air horn blowing in your ear every morning, or wake up and have to run 4 miles to start each day?
The air horn would be more effective. The more peaceful. No, I'm still going for the air horn.
Going for the air horn? Okay, all right. Do you prefer dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Okay. Polka dots or stripes?
Stripes.
Have you ever, or would you ever go to a movie alone?
No, I don't think I have, and because it's kind of a thing to do with somebody, I think I would go with somebody.
Sure. If you were given the opportunity to fly into space, would you take it?
Can I bring a guitar?
Sure.
Yes.
All right. Do you own a bicycle?
No, currently.
Interesting. Okay.
I need one. I've spoken of it.
And just lastly, do you find handlebar mustaches to be fashionable?
If they stay their original color, yes. If they go white, it's not.
Time for it to go? All right, that's it. You survived the rapid fire question round. Nicely done. All right. Let's get back to talking about the school. Who takes lessons there? Is it mostly kids? Can adults sign up? What about total beginners that don't know what a quarter note is?
All of the above.
Okay.
At any age. So if it's the person who doesn't know a quarter note or anything at an older age, the doors are open.
Nice.
It's welcome. We, in fact, I really quite enjoy the maturity. It's nice to see that people have decided somewhere in life to do something that they wanted to do. I've heard too many times seniors or adults express the regret they felt for having not learned at a younger age.
Sure.
So We look at it. We approach it differently. We try to make it fun and palatable. And they're not interested in doing the fundamentals. But
that's fair enough. If a parent were, say, considering lessons for their son or daughter, what advice would you give to them?
First thing, take advantage of the opportunity for the very reason I said it. Rather than regret having not taken it when it was available. It is a great opportunity to do. And the other thing is, learn this and stay with this, is there's a lot more to music lessons than just learning music. It's been known to raise your IQ points as much as 7 points.
Interesting. Interesting. So now I have a total of 17.
Oh, good.
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, keep going.
I think we can get 3 more.
Three more? All right.
It's a great way for improving your ability to focus. It improves your time management, organization. It enhances your fine motor skills. You can use it as a means to relieve stress, soothe anxiety. You get a bad day, pick up your instrument. Your confidence, self-expression, there's health benefits. It's actually very helpful for people, say with ADHD, perhaps insomnia or depression. It actually has been known to relieve or reduce blood pressure.
Wow.
So there's health benefits. We learn discipline, responsibility, perseverance, and more than that, it has to be fun. It should be fun. I think we take it because it is fun.
I agree. I couldn't agree more, in fact. Well, for the benefit of everybody listening, I'm going to include links below this episode in the show notes so you can learn more about Fort Erie School of Music and how to get in touch with Rob. Rob, thank you so much for being on the show, spending some time with me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
I appreciate it. And we're back. Community events are coming up in just a moment, but first, here's a fun new segment for Season 2, a real estate tip of the week with my friend, colleague, and teammate Cheryl O'Hearn with RE/MAX Niagara Realty, here to tell you about how agents go about coming up with an opinion of value for your home.
To determine the value of a home, we, of course, visit it. We know certain areas will command more than others. So, of course, location. And then we use comparables. So we look for similar type properties in a similar area. And then we do a plus or minus thing. And that is typically if one has more bedrooms or bathrooms or a newer kitchen or a newer roof. All of those things factor into the big picture of what a home is valued at.
Okay, once more, welcome back. Here's what's coming up in Fort Erie this week. On Thursday, March the 12th at 1 o'clock, staff from Job Gym will be at the Crystal Ridge branch of the Fort Erie Public Library to assist the public with job searches. On what day is this? Friday the 13th. Friday, March 13th, the Fort Erie Lions will be hosting their March fundraising dinner starting at 5 p.m. Trivia at the Old Fort is happening on Saturday, March the 14th from 2 until 4 p.m. Tim Hortons Bowl for Kids' Sake is also happening on Saturday, March the 14th, starting at 4:30 p.m. at Lucky Strikes. Okay, also coming up on Saturday, March 14th, a little later on at 9:30 p.m., check out Ophelan's Boys performing at the Bell Tower. On Sunday, March the 15th, I know a lot of you have been looking forward to this. The Niagara Outdoor Show is happening at the Fort Erie Leisureplex starting at 8 o'clock a.m. Also happening Sunday, the St. Patrick's Day Dinner is kicking off at 5:30 p.m. at the Fort Erie Optimist Hall. And lastly, next Tuesday, March 17th at 4:30 p.m., the Fort Erie Conservation Club is having their turkey dinner. Again, you can check out links in the show notes below for more information on any of these events. As always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. My guest next Tuesday, March 17th, will be Connie Sharon, president of the Fort Erie Conservation Club in Stevensville. Stay tuned for that. Otherwise, have an awesome week. Chat soon.
You've been listening to the Fort Erie Podcast with your host, Brent Jones, a sales representative with RE/MAX Niagara Realty Limited Brokerage. Follow @BuyWithBrent on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates. Subscribe to the Fort Erie Podcast on popular platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and catch a new bite-sized episode every week. Until next time.